y'all, it's T and welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to show y'all my new baby, aka my new car. Her name is Selena. She's a 2021 Dodge Challenger, and today I was just going to tell y'all how I ended up with a new car, the car I had before, where I got my car, the car buying experience, and things like that. So if that interests you, keep watching. So a fun fact before I go into how I got the car. If you have seen my videos before or you're a subscriber, then you might have seen my vision board video. And I actually had the car on my vision board. So it's funny to me because I had printed out things for my vision board like months ago, but I didn't get around to making a vision board until February the 7th. That is when I actually made the video of me putting it on the board and everything. And I got my car February the 10th. And I'm not saying that, you know, just because I put the items on the vision board, I just magically got the car or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying manifestation does work because I had these printouts months before I actually put it together. I had already been looking at this car, like looking at videos, and my auntie, she had one years ago and I saw hers, and that's what really made me want to get one because I had, you know, I already kind of had an interest, but actually seeing one up close and personal, looking inside it and everything, and getting to drive one, not my auntie's but somebody else's, it actually sealed the deal. Like, yeah, that's the car that I want. So it's been a while that I've been looking at this car, but like I had a vision notebook and everything, so I was just writing down my goals and stuff, and getting that car was one of them. So I just thought, you know, it was interesting that I had just put it on the vision board on the 7th, and then on February the 10th I had the car. Okay, so the car that I had, I don't know if that was, but the car that I had before I got my Challenger was a 2018 Chevy Cruze. And I actually got that car back in November of 2018. And honestly, y'all, it was a blessing at the time to get the car because of the situation that I was in. I don't know if y'all know of places like, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, for those of y'all watching at other places. Places like American Car Center and, well, you know what, I'm not going to speak on nobody else, just the car lot that I worked with, which was American Car Center. And what happened was I had got into this Mazda 3. My credit was kind of bad at the time, and then I had totaled a car because I don't know, it was like a pothole or something that really messed up the car that I was in. We're not going to get into that. But anyway, the car was totaled, so I still had this leftover balance because, you know, being a dumb teenager, I wasn't thinking about things like gap insurance. So I didn't get gap insurance with my first, no, that was my second car actually. So to anybody out there getting a first car, getting a new car, whatever, please get gap insurance. It will save your life. I ended up in that car because I had like $4,000 that wasn't covered once they paid what they was going to pay for totaling the car out or whatever. So I go to this lot, American Car Center, and I get a car, a used car of course, and they rolled that negative equity that I owed on the car that I totaled into this new car. So basically I was paying a lot of money for the car and it wasn't even worth that much. So fast forward, I finally get out of that car in November of 2018 and get in my Chevy Cruze. And you know, it wasn't the best car, but at the time, you know, it was a brand new car and I was finally getting out of that bad deal that I was in. But when I got rid of the Chevy Cruze, or I guess I'll just roll on into how I ended up getting out of that car. I got into an accident on January the 19th of 2021. This man was, okay, the best way to explain it, we're both going in the same way. He's in the left lane, I'm in the right lane. His house is right here. He's trying to turn into his driveway, and he turns into me thinking he can beat me. And so, y'all, he hit me so hard, I screamed. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I saw him, but I was like, surely he's not that stupid. He don't really think he can beat me. That man must have been drunk or something, but yeah, he really did try to beat me. So he hits me on the driver's side, smacks the hell out of me. Like I said, I screamed or whatever. And the car just kind of skidded to a stop. I couldn't even go no more. And like the front, I'll put pictures of what the car looked like and everything. And I know on the pictures it may not look that bad, but it ended up being totaled out because he actually, I don't know, something busted in the front where it was like $10,000 worth of damages because something was leaking out of the front of it. So the car was actually only worth $12,000 when I got into the accident, but I was upside down and it's $16,000 because of the situation with the previous car. So it's like I went from the American Car Center car to another bad deal, but I had gap insurance this time. I can't even say it was necessarily a bad car deal with the Chevy because I was at like a legit car lot this time. I was at the Chevy Sunrise. So it was more so just the fact that I was getting to get another car that I really didn't want. I always wanted like a sports car. At first I really wanted a Mustang, and then, you know, I saw the Challenger. You know, my auntie had one, and it was just something different about it. So I'm like, yeah, even though it ain't got the drop top and stuff, I do really like this car. But like I was saying, with that last situation, I just was in another car that was getting me from A to B. It wasn't something that I wanted. But anyway, back to the accident. So once he hits me or whatever and the car stops, I just kind of sit there for a minute, honestly, in like disbelief. And I had hit my head on the glass, and he hit, you know, the driver's side. So my left side was hurting. My back still hurts, and I'm doing physical therapy right now. But I just kind of sit there, and then like 5 or 10 minutes later, well, maybe not 10 minutes, but at least 5, I got out the car, and I didn't go over there and speak to him because I was so upset. Like, I couldn't believe it happened. And it was actually a man and his wife that were driving past, and he was a doctor. And he says that he's willing to be a witness for me. So I'm like, okay, cool. I really appreciate that. Because it, you know, it was obvious anyway who was at fault, but it was still nice that someone was willing to, you know, wait with me and everything. And then I called my ride to come get me, and that was pretty much it. They came and got my car, the wrecker. I got their number and everything, talked to the police officers. I did have to speak with the man briefly, but he was kind of acting like he didn't know what I was talking about. So I'm just like, you know what, that's fine. The police gonna be here anyway. So that was that on that. So this was my first time, you know, I'm 27. I started driving when I was 19, and this was my first car accident. So I didn't really know how long this process might take. I didn't know a lot of things. Like my cousin, she actually told me I didn't have to wait until this process was over to go get a new car, and I'm so glad I didn't wait because I probably wouldn't have got the car that I wanted, you know, procrastinating or whatever. So I went on and got a rental car and everything. I didn't have a rental car long because they pretty much, I think it took them like 3 or 4 days to go look at the car. I had planned to take that car out of town and everything, thinking I was going to have it for a little while, you know, because of COVID. I thought maybe they would take a while for the adjuster to get to go look at the car and everything. So I just expected to have a rental car for a while, but really it only took a few days. And then I took the car back a day early because when they told me that, I told my cousin, and she was like, girl, go and take your stuff to Dodge and see if you can get in the car that you want. You can probably drive off the lot today. And that's exactly what I did. So again, just to touch on why I got this particular car, it's a car that I had been wanting for some years, and some I had put on my little vision boards and whatnot. So I really just felt like this was the time to do it. This other car, you know, when your car is totaled out and you got gap insurance and everything, it's like it's wiped completely off, and you know, you just get to start fresh, and hopefully your credit is good enough. And that's another thing that I wanted to mention right quick before I forget, because I did not put this in my notes. When you go to get a car, the down payment is something really that goes into the salesman's pocket. And I'll explain what I saw. When he came out to show me, you know, what my car note would be and stuff like that, I'll just give some examples. He showed me, let's say, $500. He showed me $500. And then it was arranged $500 to, I guess, $520. And then below that, it had 0 down payment. Next, it had $540 to $560, and it had a $1,000 down payment. So I'm looking like, huh? And then it had $600 to, anyway, it just kind of went up like that, and then it was a $2,000 payment. So I'm just like, I will be handing y'all over a stack or two just to save, what, $20 to $40 on my car note. That's not much. So I'm just like, no, I ain't got nothing down. I'm sorry, I ain't got it. I ain't got it today. Y'all can run my credit and see what y'all can do with that. And that's what they did. Now, my credit, when I went to get my other cars, my credit was complete shit then. Like, it's not the greatest now, but it's much better. So I got a better deal, and you know, I walked off happy. So I will say that make sure with the down payments, you look at that and see for yourself how the down payment actually affects your car note. At the end of the day, the thing that is most important, I believe, is your credit. Working on your credit, making sure your credit is in a certain position before you go to get a car or whatever it is where you're going to need a loan. Make sure your credit is in order, but especially for this situation. As far as how I got a green Challenger, I really kind of decided that on a whim. When I went outside to look at the cars that they had, I told him that I specifically wanted the Blacktop package because it had the black rims and like the black spoiler and all of that on the back. So he showed me the ones, excuse me, that is not a COVID cough, but he showed me the ones that they had in the little lineup. They had silver, then they had my car, and they had like a red, a blue, it might have been a purple, and they for sure had the black. And I honestly always thought I would have a black one, but when I got there and I saw the whole selection, I'm just like, everybody in Memphis got a black Challenger, it seems like. So I'm gonna do something different. And then he told me that the green specifically was one that they had brought back. So I'm like, oh yeah, so this color kind of exclusive. I'm definitely gonna get this one. So other cars that I considered before I, you know, went on and just, I don't know why I didn't go with my first mind in the first place. Like, I actually had a little list of cars that I thought about getting because I thought about being practical. And then, well, my practical option would have been the Toyota Camry, but I wanted a very specific one. And honestly, it probably would have been kind of out of budget for me. And that would have been the white Toyota Camry with the red inside, the Toyota Camry XSE, I believe it is. It wasn't like the base model. So I was just like, you know what, if I'm gonna pay that much money, I might as well go ahead and get what I want, which is a sports car. And don't get me wrong, that Toyota Camry is really nice. Like, it is really nice. My dad has one and I liked his. That is why I also kind of considered that. But I was just like, it has a sporty look to it, but it's not a sports car at the same time. So I also considered a Camaro because I was already familiar with the Chevy because of the Cruze, but I'm just like, no, you know, the Camaros, again, they're nice cars. I did consider it, but the Challenger was just it for me. So I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and I went to the Dodge location in Wolf Chase. And I had a really nice salesman named Brian. He was very helpful. And he really made the process go by kind of quickly. But really, I had started my process online the night before. Like, I literally got on at maybe 12 or 1 in the morning. and I entered my social security number and, you know, my name and how much I made a year and all of that. And they pre-approved me for a decent amount of money. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's more money than how much the Challenger even costs. So, okay, that's what's up. Let's go see. And I got an email from somebody later on that morning, and I had a hair appointment that day. So I went to my hair appointment after, emailing this person, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to come in about 12:30. I didn't get there till like 2 o'clock, y'all, but I didn't care. I did not care. I said, I'm gonna sit here and wait. I don't care how long it take. I want to go ahead and get my car. So I sat there and waited, and I believe the process took about 3 hours. Well, no, not even that. I would say the process took about 2.5 hours because I had to send them back once or twice because the car note was too high. You kind of have to negotiate with the salespeople. So driving a Challenger day to day is better than I thought it would be. The car is kind of wide, I'm coming from a Chevy Cruze, so it's a huge step for me, but it's a little bit wider than I was used to and a little bit a lot faster. And gas, it hasn't been terrible. I've been putting 89 in there, and I would say it takes like $40 to $45 to fill it up, I believe. And I don't really go anywhere, so the gas lasts me a few days. I work from home right now, so I don't have a whole lot of places to be, so gas is good for me, obviously. The car does handle really well, turns smoothly, and it's spacious, but it's not too big for me. I've gotten used to it quickly. So for me, so far, the only cons really have been, I have two. The first one is there are blind spots inside the car, and everybody got blind spots, but it's different with a Challenger. And if you have one or you've driven one before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's two really small triangles that they call windows back there, and it's just really hard to kind of see out of them. So you kind of have to be careful when backing out of places and stuff. And you do have the camera, but of course the camera can't see like on both sides of the car. It's just showing you what's directly behind you. So, and like I said, it's just a little bit harder to look out of that back corner. So that was my first con. My second con to the Challenger, I do have a base model. I have the SXT, but it's just a blacktop package, like I said, just to have the different wheels and certain little black features added to the car. But I have the base model, and that means I have the base model speakers also. The bass is nice, but the sound is trash. Like, it's just not loud enough. And even when I'm not riding with the windows down, it's just not that loud when I play certain songs, or it's kind of like the bass drowns out the sound. So I will definitely be getting some new speakers soon. And that just brings me to my next thing that I wanted to talk about, which was upgrades that I plan to do. Other than the speakers, I definitely want to get some tint put on the car. And I have a few things that I'm going to order off Amazon's, and I'll show y'all what I get. I'll do a car accessories video and maybe do a video inside the car or something like that. Another thing that I wanted to do as far as an enhancement, and I'm still kind of in between about it, I saw these aggressive looking headlight caps or whatever, and I just thought it looked kind of cool. So I may get some of those, and then I might not do that because I am kind of going in a girly direction with the little diamond, well, not diamond, but the little rhinestone stuff that I plan to put on, like the license tag and stuff like that. So I don't know, it may not match, but whatever. I'll show y'all anyway what it would have looked like. I just thought it looked pretty cool. That is all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, drop a comment below, and make sure you follow me on my social media. I'm on Snapchat, but y'all, I rarely post on there, but I'm about to start posting a little bit more. And I also have to get more followers on there because, like, I start a new Snapchat every year for some reason, or whenever I get a new phone. But follow me on Instagram because I do post on there. My social media links are below. And thank you again for watching.